T-Man 978 Chill Review. Hello everybody, this is a review I've been waiting a long time to do because I skipped Titans Returns Power Master Optimus Prime because I wanted this Takara's Transformers Legends Super Ginrai, or Ginrai, I don't know how to pronounce that exactly. But here is Ginrai as far as their lore right there. Now he's a headmaster instead of a power master. You can see Super Trailer to Super Robot. There's Optimus there. There's this stuff up here. I don't usually go into too much detail as far as the packaging because I don't think it's necessary, but everybody don't see this packaging every day. So there you go with that. Product details and whatnot. This stuff right here. Okay, and down the bottom, the warnings and whatnot. Let's get it open. You may have known this already, but the packaging is very collector's friendly because after you cut the back of this, the tape right there, you can just put it right back into that clamshell, which is really awesome. But only thing that's unfortunate is the outer packaging. That cardboard is kind of flimsy a little bit. He doesn't come with a collector's card, but he does come with this beautiful instruction manual right here that's fully colored and whatnot, with the tech specs right there. If you can read that, read that. It has a comic inside, and I can't read it, but it looks interesting. It's him fighting the Decepticon headmasters. There's Ginrai, I guess. And they have, where is she? I don't know what her Japanese name is, but in Robots in Disguise, I think her name was Teletron 2. What is weird to me is she seemed to be like a little girl in that show. But here and everything after that show was over, she's been depicted as very sexualized, which is weird to me. I mean, I guess she does have breasts, so she should be a grown-up, but I just wanted to touch on that. Yes, I do realize that was a poor choice of words. Just wanted to touch on it. But here is Ginrai, or Haikyuu. He is very detailed. All of this bottom part of the leg is painted right there. The red part of the leg is painted. The face is two shades. I guess that's a humanoid face down there. It probably doubles as a robot. I'm not sure if it's the exact same face of the Titan Master in the US, but there you go. When I zoom in on it, I can see that the visor is a little bit messed up. And of course, he just has Optimus Prime's face on the back. I'm not sure if this is the same Voyager class Optimus Prime face. I don't own that, but I know the US version of this has Orion Pax face, so there you go with that. Here is Ginrai's robot body, or Power Master Optimus Prime if you want. It's light. It feels a little bit heavier than something Hasbro would produce, but is definitely way better painted than anything Hasbro has going on right now. Like I said, I never bought Power Master Optimus Prime for Titans Return, but so I can't compare it. But these tires, the way that is, it looks like it's real rubber, but they are plastic. The cab is redesigned to look more G1-ish. So I definitely wanted that because I don't like the stylized version of the cab. If I'm going to get this guy, the Takara version looks better, so I definitely wanted to wait for this version, and I'm so happy right there. This is almost closed, but of course it has that gap right there. There's gappage right there that might bother people, but he can completely turn left and right when you don't have this like pushed back a little bit. He's covered in these little stand ports for the Titan Masters. I guess that's mostly for base mode, but if you want to have him hanging off, you could do that. And one thing I thought was interesting, he has a little door right there, and he has a little tiny door right there with a ladder leading up to it. It's like, is this truck like super gigantic? Functionality besides being able to roll and the cab turning and whatnot, if you untab this back hitch right here, or the shins of the robot, you can actually put a Legends class figure in there. It's designed for Legends class figures. They can fit in there. But I discovered if you turn this around, you can fit RC in there. But I can't really put any other deluxe class figures in there. I can get him in there that far. Well, let me take Bumblebee out. I can get him in there decently far, and Optimus does clear him, but yeah, he's still sticking out. So this is mainly for Legends class, and I guess you can fit about 2 Legends class figures in there, just like Ultra Magnus. Now this is Super Ginrai, or Power Master Optimus Prime. He does have these weapons you can attach, just like the original Power Master Optimus Prime or Ginrai. And it has these that you can fit up here. Unfortunately, the connection, and this is going to be my main complaint about this figure, the connections are not that secure. And that's one thing that I'm kind of disappointed about. Like stuff coming untabbed. It's like now in vehicle mode, it pretty much stays together, and I have a few things to complain about in robot mode. Now you can have the guns like this, or you can flip it around like this if you don't want that seat to be visible. But the reason why these have seats in it is, of course, a Headmaster or Titan Master, in the US's case, can sit in there and shoot stuff. But the last bit of functionality, if you pull this forward, pull that forward, there is, I don't even know if you can call that a seat, but there is technically a seat in there. There's no real detail inside of there, not like Ultra Magnus, and you can look at my Ultra Magnus, Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus review if you want to see the interior detail of him. I'll put a link in the description. But basically, get him in a seated position, bend the knees like that. His knees are very stiff. Plug the back of his feet into that right there. Bring the arms down, and now you should be able to close this. And as far as build quality, this little thing right here, this is flimsy as crap. That is the one major complaint I have about build quality on this toy. But get the arms down. I wanted to have the arms pushed more forward to pretend he's actually reaching for some controls, but that doesn't work. But yeah, here's the front of this. That paint right there, it looks like a silvery blue. It just depends on where the light's hitting it. I like the way that looks. I like the way it came out. Here's a comparison with Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus right here. This is what his cab would have looked like, or if you would have got the US version. But I definitely wanted this more G1 look to give me the nostalgia I had for the for the original right there. The Power Master one has the feet just like that. And I will admit, this stays together a lot better than this. These panels up here are flimsy and they are annoying as hell. When transforming this back to truck mode, collapse this into that groove first, then fiddle with these panels right there. And if you want to put these guns on, you have to detach this, hold it, put the guns in there, because these things just, oof, they've been driving me nuts. But it's pretty much the same size. Ginrai, his cab seems to stand out a little bit more, but yeah, I don't know. It definitely turns a lot more because of the way it's designed. Other comparison, here he is with a Legends class, but is Bumblebee too big? I don't know. Is Chrome Dome too big? I don't know. Here's RC right there. RC could just ride on top of him like he's a car carrier. But there you go with that. I'm sure someone wants to see him with Ultra Magnus's weapons on right there and there. But there you go right there. I took the gray cannons off. Basically just take these off. I'm going to start back here by flipping, well, unpegging right there and flipping these back. And pretty much if you squeeze, it almost transforms by itself, but flip these up that way and detach here and clamp them to the side. And that stays very secure. Squeeze up the arm. You can go ahead and rotate the hands. And this thing has rotating wrist, unlike Power Master Optimus Prime. We can detach these. Okay. Swing them out like that, basically. Bring this crotch back like that. Swing these forward. Just keep that like that for now. Untab these. Start rotating this back after you unpeg the legs right there from each other. You can swing this up, and there's things that'll tab that together. And the leg tabs right there. Unfortunately, and that's my complaint, they do not stay tabbed very secure. The most intricate part of this transformation are the feet. When I started messing with the feet, I was like, what the heck? But basically, you rotate this down, bring this out, straighten up this gray piece right here completely. Straighten that up. Swing this around right there and bend right there. Now we bring this down, and it's a heel spur. I know it kind of doesn't look right, but it's very reminiscent of the original toy, so there you go with that. But let's try to do that again better over here. Bring this down, rotate this out, bring this gray piece flat, heel spur, wrap this around, bring that like that. It'll come to you better if you when it's in your hands. Wrap this around, and this peg goes into there. Okay. Now we can take the front of this cab, rotate that, lift this up, push this part of the cab all the way down, start rotating this here until the wheels are in those grooves right there. We can open this up, take Ginrai out, bend this little flimsy flap down, grab his head, lift this up right here. Well, let you see him without Ginrai in there. Shut these panels. Shut this. And if these wheels aren't right, this part right here won't groove into the side correctly, which is frustrating. But that's all together. And like I said, these legs, the legs kind of kill it for me because they don't want to stay attached correctly. But there's the head with nobody home. Here's the head, or neck with no head. Let's put the Titan Master in there. Well, that's how little itty bitty the head is, but now we can, of course, cover it. And there it is right there. There you go. Try to change the lighting a bit, but you can see his eyes. They're painted. In person, you'll see him a lot better than you're seeing it right now. I did it off camera, but here are the guns attached to his shoulders. Here he is fully in robot mode. Let's start off with the bad things. I don't like that this doesn't collapse all the way up. There is a clicking point right here, and it pretty much stays, but I don't like that they're just pretty much just dangling off. That gets under my skin. Let's see. The legs, like I said, they keep coming detached. So when you want to move the legs, basically you need to grab here, squeeze, and then you can do whatever pose you need to do. What other thing bad? The feet. I'm going to get into the good part of the feet, but this heel spur is lame. It does not, it's kind of stiff. He can stand up as you just saw him doing, but it doesn't click, and he does get a little tiny bit back heavy because you see how much support that heel spur needs to get because it's in the center of his leg. So yeah, they do tend, unless you bend the feet forward, they do tend to make them fall back. But as you can see, the feet can bend forward. Other things I don't like, I wish they would have engineered a waist joint just like they should have done with Ultra Magnus. There's no reason at all that this doesn't have a waist joint. And with them re-engineering so much, I don't understand why they didn't do that, but I can't really hold it against it because they just didn't put it there. That's something I wanted. Good points. Everything is pretty much closed up except for that. That's hollow. This is hollow, but it doesn't look nowhere near as bad as Ultra Magnus. I love that they redesigned his feet. His feet can pretty much do everything that they... Like I said, if you're going to move anything, grab here. The feet pivot in, which is nice. They pivot forward like that, so he can do a leaning forward pose. And they tilt back, which is awesome. And the toe actually still has that rotate functionality right there because of transformation. The legs rotate forward like that all the way, so you can kick all the way forward. They can kick back. You can go all the way to a full split. Thigh rotation. The knee bends almost 90 degrees, but not quite all the way. The arms, they can go all the way out. That hinge is just like Ultra Magnus. It gets out of the way. I love that. The arms, shoulders rotate there. He has a bicep swivel. Elbows bend 90 degrees. Wrists rotate, which is awesome. And there is hollowness there. But I love the way that is painted right there. It just looks so nice. When I first saw that, I didn't like it, but in person it looks very lovely. If you want to break the transformation, the arms can twist right there if you need him to do that. And like I said, that stays secure. I love that. That's one thing that stays very secure. I love that he actually has a neck that he can fully rotate. You can look down a little bit using the actual neck, but he can't really look up. I mean, you can make him look up, and his channel, his inner channel, get exposed a tiny taste, and his eyes definitely disappear, but that still looks okay to me. I like the way they integrated this fake Power Master gimmick right there, or I think they're called God Masters, but I love the way they did that. That is awesome. And he's pretty much a really, really solid figure. Can't complain about him too much. He does what he needs to do. I really love the way that he looks. The original Power Master Optimus Prime kind of disappointed me a lot because of the lack of posability. I did like the function that the actual cab became a robot itself and then it combined to a bigger robot. I do miss that and wish that this has it, but this is still a good update and I really love it. Like the Titan Master or Headmaster gimmick for this robot and all the other figures in the line was just a smart move. If I was a little kid, it would be so fun to be using those little headmasters as little soldiers for your little stories that you can create. But if you want to, let's show it this way. You could point the guns up this way and not have that little seat showing. And speaking of guns, let's let you see his guns up close. They are identical, basically. I like the way they look. I kind of don't like that, though, because it looks cheap. They can combine. And when you combine them, they form a little seat that the Titan Master can fit in and fit inside the base and whatnot. So that's cool right there. As you can see here, that added ankle articulation helps him get into some dynamic poses. Poses I wish that Ultra Magnus could get in. And if I would have bought the Hasbro version of this figure right here, I would have wished he could do. So, man, like that wrist rotation and the ankle, you could do a lot with that. Really love this. I know it probably looked awkward when I was trying to say it, but this is a demonstration of the foot leaning forward to accommodate a pose like that. So man, the feet do look a little bit weird. I'm gonna have to admit that. The original toy had wheels on the side right there, which when you look at the original toy, it does look pretty much the same and weird, but I like the result. So I'm not going to complain too much about that. And he does have little exhaust guns right there if you want to say that. Battle station mode. Act like you're transforming him back to a truck a little bit. You could pull this forward right there. Lean it like that for now. Lift this up. And just to show you this, because I forgot to show this off. If you don't want him to be a headmaster, he doesn't have to be. Like, if the headmaster is still up in there, you can actually rotate this in here and transform him into all his modes without taking that head off, which is very cool, but we're going to need him. With the headmaster out, you can put his helmet back in there, lift this up, rotate this around, and tab it into place. Bend this back, bend the legs forward, twist them in this orientation right here. Legs forward in this orientation. Now we have to go ahead and transform the foot. Pull this out, swing it around, rotate it this way like that. But leave this little red part out. Swing this out, rotate it, bend it, and rotate that to like that. Okay. Leave everything. Try to make both legs match. Now with that like that, this pulls out a little stand right there. Lift the arms up like this. Rotate these up like that. Slide that forward on both sides. Bring this little flap down. And basically, he is the battle station mode right there. Looks a little bit silly, but you can go ahead and attach this here, that there. Put the guns here, they actually attach in his hands. And there you go with that right there. And of course, you can sit in there and man that. You can sit here. There's various stand ports everywhere for little Titan Masters or Headmasters to fit in. If you want to put both of his rifles together, here's another little configuration right there. The possibilities are endless. As you can see here, he is still capable of connecting with Metroplex, and this is the US, outside Metroplex. Fortress Maximus, this is the US Fortress Maximus. Full disclosure, I'm too lazy to transform him. Here's Ginrai, or Super Ginrai, with the original Headmaster crew, Bumblebee. And there you go with that. Here they are without Bumblebee there. Or this guy, if you want to see that. Here is... Holy crap, I forgot his name. I can remember. Cerebros, yes. I was remembering Emissary, but not Cerebros. But there you go with that. Here he is next to Ultra Magnus, and as you can see, those new feet do make him a little bit taller. So that's a plus right there. So, at the end of the day, is this figure perfect? No. Even though it's an import toy, and Takara Tomy has gone through a bunch of leaps and bounds to make him better in certain areas that I mentioned, it is still made with the same quality plastic as a Hasbro toy. Some areas feel better, but some areas, like these flat panels, just feel cheap. And it is still hollow there in the inner thigh. I didn't mention that. But they went out of their way to make stuff like this not hollow like it is on the Hasbro version. So they did put in a lot more effort with this. So it's in a weird area where it's not really a premium toy so much, or a high-end toy so much, because it's basically their main line. And I don't know if they're cheaper over in Japan, or do the Japanese people pay the same amount as us importers. But let's say he's about the same size as something like Masterpiece Ironhide, but his plastic is spread out, his mass is more spread out, so it's thin. So whereas something like Masterpiece Ironhide feels very solid and feels kind of heavy, this is probably the same weight as that, but his plastic is more spread out, so it feels a little bit more flimsier than that. So at the end of the day, I guess it all equals out, and it all depends on what do you want. Do you want this guy who is way more posable and dynamic and looks a lot more like the source material, or do you want just the cheaper Hasbro regular release? You saw what my decision was, and I'm not disappointed. There's a few problems, but I like it, and like I said, I'm not disappointed, so I can suggest it, to be honest. If you like this video, make sure to not leave without clicking the like button. Watch my previous Mega Bloks review for Baxter Stockman. Watch my other videos, my toy hunts, and I have a T-Man moment. If you really enjoyed this video, make sure you don't leave without subscribing as well. Until next time, T-Man 978, out of here.